At first glance, the Ulysses S. Grant presidential dollar looks like just another ordinary coin, but hidden in its tiny details is a fascinating story that has surprised collectors for years. Before you overlook one in your own collection, let's take a closer look at what makes this presidential dollar so intriguing. First coin. The United States presidential dollar featuring Andrew Johnson often passes through collections with little attention, yet this golden-colored coin quietly represents one of the most debated chapters in American history. Issued as part of the presidential $1 coin program, it honors the nation's 17th president, a leader whose presidency unfolded during the difficult years following the Civil War. While millions were produced, not every example tells the same story. Small differences in strike quality, surface preservation, minting characteristics, and production anomalies have transformed certain pieces from ordinary pocket change into fascinating collectibles. At first glance, the portrait may seem familiar, but experienced collectors know that every presidential dollar deserves a closer look, because the smallest detail can separate a common coin from one that attracts serious attention. That possibility is exactly what keeps collectors searching through rolls, inherited collections, forgotten jars, and old coin albums, hoping to uncover a remarkable discovery hiding in plain sight. Andrew Johnson's presidential dollar carries far more historical weight than its face value suggests. The obverse displays a carefully sculpted portrait of Johnson, while the reverse features the iconic Statue of Liberty, a design shared throughout the presidential dollar series to symbolize the nation's enduring ideals. Unlike earlier circulating dollar coins, these pieces include edge lettering containing the year of issue, mint mark, and the national mottos, creating another area where unusual production mistakes can occur. During the minting process, countless coins move through machinery at incredible speed, and although modern technology is remarkably precise, perfection is never guaranteed. Slight interruptions, mechanical adjustments, or unexpected production issues can leave behind characteristics that collectors eagerly study years later. Every coin carries evidence of the moment it was created, making each example a tiny historical artifact as much as a form of currency. What truly captures collectors' attention are the unexpected varieties and mint errors that occasionally emerge. Some presidential dollars have been discovered with missing or weak edge lettering, while others display doubled inscriptions, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, incomplete lettering, or other unusual production anomalies. Although many imperfections have little collectible importance, a genuine mint error authenticated by experts can dramatically increase interest within the numismatic community. Collectors also examine the sharpness of Andrew Johnson's portrait, the strength of Liberty's details on the reverse, and the crispness of every letter around the coin. Even subtle differences in die wear or striking pressure can affect desirability. These details often escape casual observers, but experienced numismatists know that extraordinary discoveries frequently begin with what appears to be an ordinary dollar resting unnoticed in a change drawer. Condition plays an equally important role in determining collector appeal. Coins that never entered circulation often retain brilliant surfaces, frosted design elements, and strong luster that immediately distinguish them from heavily handled examples. Tiny contact marks, scratches, discoloration, or friction across the highest points of the design can significantly influence grading results. Professional grading services evaluate every aspect of preservation under magnification, assigning grades that help establish market confidence. A coin that appears flawless to the naked eye may reveal imperfections under close inspection, while another that looks ordinary may surprise experts with exceptional strike quality and outstanding originality. This combination of preservation, eye appeal, rarity, and authentication often determines whether a collector views a coin as simply interesting or genuinely desirable. The value journey becomes especially fascinating when collectors begin comparing examples. Illustrative market scenarios show how different characteristics can influence interest, but they should never be viewed as guaranteed outcomes. Minor varieties or subtle collectible differences have sometimes attracted prices in the range of approximately $2,500 to $3,500. High-grade examples with exceptional eye appeal have occasionally reached around $5,000, while unusual mint anomalies may inspire collector interest approaching $6,000. Particularly scarce collector pieces have sometimes been discussed near $7,500, and exceptionally preserved or uncommon examples have occasionally been associated with values around $8,000. Unusual finds supported by strong collector demand have reached approximately $8,500, while extraordinary or historically significant authenticated examples have been known to approach $9,000 in specialized markets. Every sale depends on authenticity, rarity, condition, timing, and buyer demand, making each transaction unique rather than predictable. Imagining such a discovery naturally sparks excitement because the difference between an ordinary dollar and an extraordinary collectible can feel almost unbelievable. For some people, finding a valuable coin in an inherited collection could resemble receiving a sudden financial windfall. For others, the proceeds from an exceptional example might contribute toward a down payment on a home, fund an education, or help achieve another meaningful life goal. That emotional possibility is part of what makes coin collecting so captivating. Yet seasoned collectors understand that expectations must remain realistic. Most presidential dollars remain worth only their face value or a modest premium, while only a very small number possess the combination of rarity, preservation, and documented authenticity needed to command substantial collector interest. The excitement comes from the search itself and the possibility that history occasionally rewards careful observation. If you decide to examine your own Andrew Johnson presidential dollar, approach it like a professional investigator rather than a treasure hunter. Compare its weight with official specifications using an accurate digital scale. Observe whether the metal color appears consistent across the entire surface. Inspect the strike alignment on both sides. Study the rim for unusual thickness or irregular formation, and carefully check every inscription for signs of genuine letter doubling rather than ordinary wear or damage. Pay close attention to the edge lettering, since that area has produced several well-known varieties within the presidential dollar series. Avoid cleaning the coin because even gentle polishing can permanently reduce collector value. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges, store it in protective holders, and seek professional authentication before drawing conclusions about rarity or potential value. The most remarkable discoveries often begin with a coin that looked completely ordinary until someone decided to take a second glance. Hidden among everyday change, forgotten coin jars, estate collections, bank rolls, or family keepsakes, remarkable pieces occasionally surface when least expected, reminding collectors that history sometimes waits patiently for decades before revealing its secrets. Whether your Andrew Johnson presidential dollar proves to be common or unexpectedly unusual, every careful examination adds another chapter to the ongoing story of American coinage and the people who preserve it. And somewhere, perhaps in another pocket, another forgotten collection, or another overlooked dollar, an even more astonishing coin may be waiting to rewrite everything collectors thought they knew, a discovery we'll explore in the next remarkable story. Next coin. The United States presidential $1 coin honoring Ulysses S. Grant is one of those coins that can disappear into a pile of loose change without attracting a second glance. Yet behind its golden appearance lies a story that reaches from Civil War battlefields to modern minting technology. Grant, remembered as the Union general who helped preserve the nation before becoming its 18th president, is immortalized on a coin that many people have handled without realizing its historical significance. Although millions were struck, collectors understand that production numbers alone never determine whether a coin is ordinary or exceptional. Tiny manufacturing differences, overlooked varieties, and remarkable preservation have transformed certain Grant dollars into pieces that generate genuine excitement whenever they appear at major coin shows or specialized auctions. That hidden contrast between common appearance and uncommon potential is exactly what keeps experienced collectors searching through forgotten rolls and overlooked collections year after year. The design itself contains more detail than most people ever notice. Grant's portrait reflects the weathered determination that defined his military career, with carefully engraved facial features, uniform textures, and lettering intended to withstand years of circulation. The reverse displays the familiar Statue of Liberty used throughout the presidential dollar series, creating a consistent national theme while allowing each president's portrait to tell a different chapter of American history. One distinctive feature is the edge lettering, where the date, mint mark, and national inscriptions are placed instead of on the coin's faces. This unusual production method introduced additional opportunities for fascinating mint variations, because the edge lettering is applied during a separate stage of manufacturing. Even a brief interruption in that process could produce characteristics that later became highly desirable among specialists who study these coins in extraordinary detail. Collectors often become captivated by the Grant dollar because of the subtle differences that can separate one example from another. Some pieces exhibit unusually sharp strikes that reveal every strand of hair and every fold of the design with remarkable clarity, while others display softer details caused by normal production variation. There have also been authenticated examples showing missing edge inscriptions, partially impressed lettering, rotated edge text, doubled elements, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other legitimate mint errors that occurred before the coins ever left the mint. Every unusual feature must be carefully distinguished from post-mint damage, since scratches, dents, or wear can easily be mistaken for genuine production mistakes. That careful detective work is one of the reasons this series continues attracting collectors who enjoy solving puzzles hidden inside seemingly ordinary coins. Another reason the Ulysses S. Grant presidential dollar remains fascinating is the way condition changes everything. Coins that circulated for years naturally develop contact marks, worn high points, and dull surfaces, while carefully preserved examples may still display bright mint luster, crisp design details, and nearly flawless fields. Professional graders examine these characteristics under magnification, evaluating strike quality, preservation, eye appeal, and originality before assigning an official grade. Even coins struck from the same dies on the same day can end up with dramatically different collector appeal depending on how they were handled after leaving the mint. That reality explains why experienced numismatists spend so much time studying surfaces, texture, and minute details that casual observers rarely notice. Only after rarity, condition, and authenticity enter the picture does the discussion of value become truly meaningful. Documented auction results and private sales have shown that notable Grant presidential dollars with desirable characteristics have occasionally realized prices between approximately $5,000 and $7,000. Particularly attractive mint state examples have reached around $8,200 in competitive markets, while unusual authenticated mint mistakes have sometimes sold for roughly $8,700. Extreme production errors supported by professional certification have been associated with prices approaching $9,000, and extraordinary discoveries combining rarity, preservation, and collector demand have occasionally achieved figures near $10,000. Exceptionally rare error examples with remarkable documentation have even reached approximately $35,000 in specialized sales. These figures represent recorded market outcomes under specific circumstances, never guaranteed values for every similar-looking coin. Stories surrounding remarkable coin discoveries continue to inspire collectors because they often begin with moments that almost never happened. A forgotten bank roll opened years later, an inherited collection tucked away in a closet, or a handful of dollar coins left untouched in a drawer has occasionally revealed a piece worth far more than anyone expected. Just as memorable are the missed opportunities when unusual coins were unknowingly spent, exchanged, or overlooked before their importance was recognized. Those stories remind collectors that knowledge often proves more valuable than luck. The difference between an ordinary dollar and a remarkable collectible is rarely obvious at first glance, making patience and careful observation far more important than excitement alone. Anyone examining a Ulysses S. Grant presidential dollar should approach the process methodically rather than emotionally. Begin by confirming the coin's weight with a precise digital scale and compare it to official specifications. Observe the metal color for consistency across both sides, looking for unusual appearances that cannot be explained by normal environmental exposure. Check the strike alignment to ensure the obverse and reverse are positioned correctly. Inspect the rim for signs of expansion, distortion, or incomplete formation, and examine every letter under magnification for genuine, doubling rather than wear or damage. Pay especially close attention to the edge lettering because it remains one of the most important diagnostic areas for this series. If anything appears unusual, resist the temptation to clean or alter the coin, since preserving its original condition is essential before seeking expert evaluation. Professional authentication should always come before any decision to sell, because appearance alone can never confirm rarity or establish value. Certified experts have the equipment and experience needed to distinguish genuine, mint-produced characteristics from damage that occurred after the coin entered circulation, and that distinction often determines whether a coin attracts ordinary interest or extraordinary bidding. Some of the most celebrated discoveries in modern numismatics began with someone taking the time to examine a coin that everyone else dismissed as common, proving that remarkable history can sometimes hide behind the most familiar designs, waiting for a careful observer to recognize what countless others unknowingly passed by.